Welcome to Main Street. This is Ryan Mack, founder of Main Street. Just had a very empowering conversation with a group of organizations that, as far as I'm concerned, exemplify everything that Main Street is all about. Main Street is all about teaching financial education, but it's also about highlighting those organizations that are in our communities, doing some of the most effective work at actually creating economic change for our communities. The topic of the conversation was the true cost of recidivism, how to reduce recidivism. And Young Men Incorporated and Lead by Example, they came by and explained exactly what they're doing. We do work with them. We're continuing to work with them. But here, check out this first clip of one of the leaders of Young Men Incorporated talking about exactly what Young Men Incorporated does and how they operate, using inmates to empower other inmates in the prison, and then when they're released, continue to do the work outside of prison walls. Check out what they had to say.
It was a program. It was the one and only BOP, FBOP, Federal Bureau of Prisons certified inmate initiated program, basically. So we were certified, and it was, us teaching us, basically, whether it be financial literacy, public speaking, the cognitive stuff, and getting our minds right in preparation for the inevitable release, and getting back to reiterating into society and things of that nature, and just putting in the work from the inside, so that by the time that these young men were being released, such as myself, we'd at least have a path forward and some avenues and some connections. Our vision was always to bring it outside and, unite with other organizations and partner organizations to continue doing the work and have a place that could be sort of like a softish landing, for lack of better words, for individuals, returning citizens, and for them to be able to have a place to find information and find support and things of that nature.
And then we have Lead by Example, another great contributor to the conversation, doing some phenomenal work, organizing Bloods, Crips, other gang members. He founded the organization inside of prison, and now he's continuing to work outside of prison. Check out what the organization is all about.
We was able to redirect over 400 to 500 young men who are gang members, Bloods, Crips, and BGFs. The program took traction. The older guys in the institution began to take notice of the behavior of the young men. And so they wanted programming as well. And we came up with Lead by Example.
I always like to say there's a positive correlation between poverty and crime. You fix the poverty, you can fix the crime. Again, here's Lead by Example talking about the multiple businesses he's created being run and operated by those in our communities, those Bloods, those Crips, those other individuals who might not have another way. He's created a way for them.
Because I was opening businesses, we looked at it as an initiative, and we have 12 businesses in Harlem. And we have
these businesses are, how are these businesses, what types of businesses are they? And are they run by other individuals of the program?
Yes.
And these organizations, and why I like working with them, is because they have a plan. They have a strategy. Young Men Incorporated and Lead by Example actually have a strategy to go into various communities and empower them in a very tangible way. Check out a little glimpse of what their plan is.
The Pinkerton Foundation funded the idea because they seen the work that we were doing with probation and with Rikers Island, and they seen the numbers that was coming through. To speak on some of those numbers, we getting referred about 500 kids per year in New York City, and we graduating about 200 of those into phase 2 of our program. Phase 2 of our program then talks about that, like training, job placement. So the business that's being created, we're tying the programming there to get them the culinary stuff. Phase 2, we got LMM, the contractors, to help us get the place, to give us another contract to give OSHA certifications to another handful of those kids. Phase 2. So it was they were buying into the model of community revitalization through youth mentorship and empowerment. Come to the returning citizens. We recruit returning citizens, and we recruit the youth that are out there gang banging and selling drugs and thinking that that's the negative way. And we showing them better than we could tell.
I talk all the time about how the dollar should circulate effectively in your community. That's what Main Street's main core principle is about. Well, here's Lead by Example saying the exact same things, and they're actually creating these businesses, fixing the problem of crime in their communities. I want you to hear what he has to say, and the fact that crime is actually reduced tremendously because of the economic impact they're doing. It's a beautiful thing. Check it out.
I said our dollar do not circulate in our community one time. So how can we prevent that? How can we slow that down? By having businesses in our community and providing a service to our people who live in the community. So at least the dollar can circulate one time, and that's how wealth is built. And so the young men who are bloods in that community, since we've been over there in that area, this summer, no violence. None whatsoever. I call them nephew, they call me not the big homie. I'm your uncle. I could be your uncle. I'm your brother, your father's brother, your mother's brother. We family. And they say, yo, can you teach me? I said, no problem.
And Young Men Incorporated is working with all youth in their community. Here's a youth that jumped on the call to talk about some of the impact that the mentorship of Young Men Incorporated is having on his life. Check it out.
I would like to say it genuinely, that one gives me admiration and one gives me a better perspective and gives me something to look for, but it also is scary because you look at it and you see something so big, but just as he just said, it's small steps. Everything that you guys know, I have access to now, and that's how you have to remember it. Network is network. We talked about that, and it's just like, when you think about it a little bit differently, it gets a little less stressful.
Listen, I get it. Crime is an issue in America. It definitely is. And you can choose to do nothing about it. But if you choose to do nothing about it, I better not hear you complaining, because you chose to do nothing about the problems that exist in your community. Or you can wait on some white knight in shining armor to come by and save you. Like whether that white knight in shining armor comes in the form of a Joe Biden or a Donald Trump. I don't know who you support. And I'm not saying politics doesn't matter. It's definitely important. But what I am saying is, regardless of who wins in that election, those brothers, they're going to be on the streets working. They're going to be out there making change. And they also understand that there's no one, be it a politician or anybody else, that can work as hard for you as you can work for yourself. And that's what Main Street is about. Those brothers are exactly what Main Street is all about. It's not waiting. They understand that the cavalry is you. You are the change that we've been waiting on. And guess what? No matter who wins in any election, they're going to keep on working, and I'm going to be right there with them, helping them out, working, collaborating, teaching financial education, and doing all we can to make sure our communities can move forward economically. Now, if you want to be a part of this movement, please email us, info@mainstreetempowerment.com. Check out the email below. You want to find out more information about Young Men Incorporated, lead by example, email us. You want to take part of some of our workshops every single Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, email us. I'll send you the information. Or if you say, Ron, I've got some expertise I want to lend and I want to participate somehow, because it is a movement and we're going national with it, with some tangible economic solutions, we want you to be a part of this. Email us. We'll talk to you how you can participate in this movement. Talk to you soon. Peace.